What What were you just talking about?
We were talking about politics, our parents. Basically, we were talking about Democrats and Jon Stewart,
Just
guys like that.
none of those guys, any of the Democratic commentary is just not fucking. It's not funny. It all sucks. Like any of the stuff on SNL sucks. Like Bill Maher sucks. Jon Stewart sucks. It's all like,
just shut the fuck up, guys. You know?
Yeah, it's
just fucking chill out.
Just keep it to yourself. Just stick to the jokes.
Yeah,
I'm here to laugh.
What
hear about your brain dead politics, you boring ass blowhards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Who cares? Make me laugh.
Yeah.
Isn't that? It's harder to make me laugh. Why don't you focus on that?
Yeah, I'm just trying to make it through this day without putting a fuck in my head. Can you at least give me like 5 seconds of relief?
I hear you, brother. I'm on the edge too. I've been thinking. I tried so many fucking different things. First, it was in high school. It was following bands around and doing like trying to sell merch to people at concerts. Then I got a little bit older. I got into acting, performing. I tried some of that YouTube stuff, trying to get an audience, trying to get likes on the internet. Then I got into art, trying to do like internet art and stuff like that. None of it's working. This is like the last thing I want to try to do before if this doesn't work out, I swear to God, I'm just going to fucking paint the town with my own.
That's raw.
I'm on the edge and the city is hot as fuck tonight. It's sizzling. And I'm about to bust off in all directions. I'm a man unhinged. I'm a man apart. I'm a man on fire.
Welcome to the Fantasy Cast podcast, where 3 grown men pass the time by sharing their deepest, darkest fantasies. Here we go.
Were you sipping on, Mike?
Got that Coca-Cola.
Nice.
Got that Coca-Cola. 12 ounces. Full flavor.
12 ounces. That's like a meal right there.
Hear that?
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh man, you can feel those bubbles, you little freaks.
Hey, before we get into this, I'd love to hear some of your guys' reflections on This Is Where I Leave You.
This Is Where I Leave You is this movie, ensemble cast on Netflix, starring Jason Bateman, Jane Fonda, one of the guys from 30 Rock, Tina Fey, the guy, I think he played the young version of Pussy in the Sopranos movie that came out that everyone forgot about. This woman who's in a lot of comedies, you recognize her face. She's not Anna Gasteyer, but she's like that. This guy who he looks Jewish, but he's not. He was in the Star Wars movies. John Brewer, what is his name?
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver. Yeah. Timothy Oliphant. Jason Bateman. And the premise is that they're a big family. They're half Jewish and they're sitting shiva because their dad killed himself. I guess I just have suicide in my mind right now. It's just it's hard to think about. You know, I guess I've been thinking about it because it's the anniversary of my dad's suicide, and we were estranged because I was adamant. He didn't believe that Elizabeth Warren was Native American, and it tore our family apart. Last time I saw him, I was screaming and yelling at him, and he died alone. Let's put it that way. I'll follow that woman to the end of the earth. I don't have any regrets about my father dying alone because of that incident. But anyways, this movie, This Is Where I Leave You. You guys found it pretty erotic. I don't remember a thing about it. I thought I saw the movie. You keep mentioning different sexual punishments and stuff like that were happening throughout the movie that I don't remember.
That's the summary. That's it right there. I don't know. I don't know if you have anything you want to add onto that, John. Anything that struck you about that movie?
The only thing that was, I couldn't stop thinking about Adam Driver dancing on that table.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that scene when they're high.
They sneak off from
painful.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They sneak off from the dad's service to go to like a classroom in the synagogue, and they all smoke weed, and they're acting like they're freshmen in high school smoking for the first time.
Like they start singing like doo-wop style. Ugh. The mother's a lesbian, right?
Jane.
Oh
yeah. I remember that. You find out she's in a lesbian relationship.
The thing that I mentioned it to you guys that struck me, a couple different things, is when Jason Bateman walks in on his wife having sex with his boss, who's like a shock jock, right?
Oh yeah, Dax.
And then later on, Jason Bateman's wife is like, "Hey, I'm pregnant," and Bateman's like, "It's not mine. You've been fucking this guy for the last year," and she's like, "No, it's definitely yours," and Bateman's like, "How do you know?" And she's like, "Well, because that shock jock is sterile." But the filmmakers heavily imply that she just said that to him to like save his feelings, when in fact, her and the shock jock had an exclusively anal relationship, and so that's how she knows, an anal sexual relationship. So that's how she knows that.
I missed that.
Yeah, it wasn't hers.
That.
Yeah, it's like it's implied through the filmmaking, and it's a really interesting choice because that little bit of information, you just get a hint of that information about their exclusively anal relationship, and it just reshapes how you think about these characters. It's really quite fascinating.
It's not even said. That's the brilliant thing about it. It's like they leave it to the audience for you to figure out.
They give you A and C and let you make B, which is perfect writing.
That's good filmmaking.
Yeah, and then later on, and they follow it up. Later on, it's heavily implied that Jason Bateman, when he hooks up with his high school sweetheart in his hometown, that they had anal sex as well.
How is it implied? I forget. I was in and out. I got a lot going on in my life right now.
She's facing away from him in the typical like it shows them in bed, right? And afterwards, and she's facing, like, he's laying on his back, like satisfied, and she's facing away from him.
In pain.
Yeah, she's grimacing.
Yeah, she's in pain.
It's implied that she's in,
crying.
She's in pain. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's the way that she's like shifting around uncomfortably.
John, did you watch that Machine Gun Tommy movie documentary?
I started it and Steph made me turn it off. I loved it.
The man's a pretty interesting guy, but there is a part where he plays his album that he recorded with Dax Shepard from Blink-182, the drummer, at a at the label, playing it for the first time. It's just a room full of stiffs. And Machine Gun Kelly gets up on the table and does one of the most embarrassing dances I've ever seen in my life. Imagine just like, you're playing the music for some pencil pushers who want to know good music if it bit them in the ass. You know what I mean? It's so hard to get ahead in the record industry. And they're all silent. And he's nodding his head as he getting into it. And then he gets up. He starts playing like an air guitar. You know what I mean? Almost like a Angus Young air guitar-ish on the desk. And it went viral. And if I was there and I saw that and I worked there, I would nod my head. I'd look at the people around me. I'd go home. I'd put a over my head in the garage. Put some lipstick on the outside of it. Whatever. Long story short, my face is pressing down on that horn and my family finds me. This movie, Timothy Oliphant plays. They give him like a wig that makes him like a Tom Petty wig, and they're all supposed to be related. Every single one of them has like an extremely different body type. Jason Bateman's like a little guy. Adam Driver looks like a gorilla. Somehow the guy who played Pussy from the Sopranos movie looks like he's somehow larger than Adam Driver. So in real life, he must be fucking huge.
He looks like a football coach.
He looks like that sitcom Coach, like the dumb
like
guy. Dauber? Yeah, he looks like Dauber for Coach. Like the only way to give you an idea of how huge he is. As for the hottest person in it, as always, is Jane Fonda. I still think Georgia still rules, and I still think she's fine. She's still got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she does.
And I think her politics are right on as well.
Mm-hmm. Nails it every time. And we talk a lot about, we were talking before about how she must have an entire stable full of like young bucks at her Beverly Hills mansion.
Okay, you and I were talking about this. I don't know where John was. He doesn't really listen to us in the text messages anymore. I don't know what's going on. But we were talking about just how much just daydreaming, throwing some fantasies at each other. Maybe this is a good way to segue into what we want to talk about today. But we were talking about how much money would just make our lives better. It's something I talk about with my therapist a lot. I think money does make people happier. I don't know what the fuck people are talking about. Money actually doesn't make you happy. You know, it's people that are rich. They're not happier. Yeah, they're a hell of a lot happier. They don't have to worry about working. They can give their parents presents, buy them a Dyson every year. They have insurance. You're not sweating every goddamn day wondering if you're a failure to your family because you're not making enough money. So yeah, I think money does make a fucking difference. You know what I mean? It's usually people who have a shitload of money who say that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, money doesn't. Maybe you're not happy because you're stupid or something. I don't know. Maybe whatever. Okay, so we were talking about oh yeah, that's right, Mickey Rourke. It's just like living like him. He's got it made. He spends a lot of time he seems to be hanging around just men that are like fit and like working out and exercising around him, and you can't tell if what his relationship with them is. Is he what are they? Is it a sexual thing? Is it just a tribe thing? You know what I mean? Is it about loyalty? What is it? What do you guys think?
I think he's a patron of these guys' bodies.
That is
so he
nice.
just like finances these human sculptures as they hone their body to the most impeccable specimen possible.
It would be cool to have a situation like that, a stable of men, but there's just one special guy where legally no one else can look at his body except you. So I'm financing this guy's body and it's for my eyes only. We would hire, like, feed him, get him to work out and stuff, and like we get women to pleasure him to like just keep him sedated, but like the women have to wear blindfolds and they have to sign non-disclosure forms, and they can feel his body and they'll like describe it to us as we're watching it. It's very sexual, I thought. Very cool.
Yeah, and when he's out and about like on the compound with everybody else, he's wearing like a oversized jersey sweater and snow pants, so you can't see any of his form, and a scarf so you can't even see his neck muscles.
There's like padding around it, so you can't see his form at all. You can see just like his face and his hands.
Yeah, but he's like an animal at a really well cared for zoo, like a really nice zoo. He just gets everything he needs. You know, you put him out to stud. You get him food, booze, drugs, and he just builds his body all day long. And then you come in every day. You set the lighting how you want it. You light up a cigarette, sit in your favorite chair, and you just watch him flex.
You can feel his hair to make sure his coat's nice and smooth. That would be cool.
Yeah.
And he's happy, you're happy.
Yeah, it's just it's one of those rare relationships that defies most work relationships, where the two people are actually happy. Like the guy paying and the guy getting paid are just completely 100% content with the arrangement.
There's a couple Mickey Rourke highlights recently. The axe throwing in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yeah.
There's a video of him, he has an axe. And he's like, I'm about to throw this axe at this. I'm about to throw this axe at this target. He throws it, it basically just falls out of his hand. Yeah. He like looks back at the camera, he's like kind of pathetic look. He's like, we were throwing him off the roof the other day, brother.
Yeah. It's like, why would you?
Hazy ass day in his backyard in Miami.
Yeah.
Not wearing a shirt, it's like red cups on the ground. Coke can ripped in half with a bunch of cigarette butts in it.
Yeah. Do you wanna say what the topic is this evening?
Power plays, brother.
Power plays or play power.
Oh,
however
nice.
You want to think about it. This is the topic for tonight. And we're going to be talking about sexual fantasies that in some way, shape, or form involve a power play, or us playing the levers of power to our own sexual advantage. So I don't know if anybody's feeling inspired to launch this motherfucker up.
John, do the introduction.
Hell no.
Really?
No.
Okay.
That ain't for me.
All right, brother. All right. Welcome to the podcast. This is the Sexual Fantasy Podcast. This is Michael coming at you. I invented the show. I came up with the concept. I invited my friends Nathan and John. They didn't have much going on. They still don't. And I'm just kidding. They probably have as much or more than going on than I do. And we're all from different sides of the tracks. We all have different political views that differ wildly. I guess you can figure out who's who as you listen to our fantasies. Some of the fantasies are sexual. Some of them are violent. Some of them are just about having some money and like having a little bodybuilder to look at or something like that. It really runs the gamut. And today's topic is power play or play power. What do you got? You guys ready to roll? I could just riff too. I have an idea I've been playing with. Maybe you can help me out.
Yeah, hit it.
I've been thinking about just like, I got a couple ideas. I always wanted to be rich, but I think it would be cool to be rich to have like to come up with like one of these, like a trashy idea. My trashy idea that strikes big is a movie theater that you pay a flat fee and you can be there all day. And it's kind of like an indoor campground and you can set up a tent. You know what I mean? You can like have sex in there while like the new remake of Point Break is playing. Just like trashy movies all day long. Like basically the TV is just running of just like trash. And and you have a tent so you can like smoke a cigar in front. And there's other tents it's like a campground, but it's indoors in a movie theater setting. I thought that would be cool if I made like a lot of money that way, because I think the movie going experience is headed that way anyways. It's basically like a bathhouse sort of campground where you just like can vomit wherever you want, shit wherever you want, stuff like that. There's a corner, there's like a trough that just like has a water flushing down it that you just shit or piss in, and you go back to your tent. I mean, just imagine you go back to your tent, you have your woman in the tent just chilling. She doesn't really like movies. Women don't like watching TV or movies. It makes them sleepy. So you have sex with them, and then you like stand out with your naked body, and you're just like kind of, you have a lawn chair in front of your tent, and you're just smoking and like watching, Fast and the Furious, like 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I get rich doing that. I'm obviously like pretty out of shape, got lucky, been struggling my whole life, and like bald and just look like Telly Savalas or something like that kind of guy. And I think it'd be cool to have to just be like too aggressive for this world. You know what I mean? I hire all these nerds to like make it run, but I'm like too aggressive to like really work with people at this time. Because everyone's so weak-willed and cowardly. And I have so much money, I hire Slayer to play like a corporate concert. And everyone's like, oh, that's his favorite band. He's really into Slayer. And it's like I declare it like Slayer week, and I'm just like being super aggressive and partying really hard. The guys from Slayer show up, and I'm like trying to schmooze with them, and I'm already like hammered in the backstage and stuff, and they're like acting really professional and kind of bored and like don't want to be doing this anyways. But I offered them so much money that they can't refuse. And then they start playing, and there's only like, most of the employees are kind of just hanging around on the outskirts, but there's like a couple like kind of in the crowded, where the crowd should be, and they're kind of just like nodding and like looking around, wearing visors and drinking like free beer. And I just start beating the shit out of them. Like putting them in headlocks and stuff, and like twirling around, like throwing them against the walls and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I think that'd be really funny. My face is really red. It's really hurting people, and it's getting out of hand. I just thought that would be really funny and fun, like humiliating for me. Obviously, I hired dominatrix and stuff to like keep me in line, because no one will say no to me, and my wife was just like happy as long as I throw money at her. One day I'm having like a mental breakdown, and I'm just like running around the park, and like I'm wearing like a trench coat, but it's like 90 degrees and it's all dirty, and it's a woman's pink trench coat. I don't know where I got it from. I was up all night torturing Ricky Gervais for some reason. Like I got Ricky Gervais addicted to crack, and I've just been like torturing him for like a couple weeks, like throwing parties, and like I partied so hard I like took over someone's house. You know what I mean? I threw a party at someone's house, and like I partied there so hard with my friends that the people just like that live there just like ran away. And I have Ricky Gervais like in a bedroom, and I'll throw like parties and stuff, and he's just like so addicted to crack and dependent on me that I can like torture him and stuff. And I'm like, I got Ricky Gervais. He's a little pig. He's like, I'm calling him the little pig. They're like, who's the little pig? I'm like, it's Ricky Gervais, bro. You gotta see his ass. You know what I mean? And so I'll like open the door, and I'll show Ricky Gervais like he's cowering in the corner, and I'm like slapping him around and stuff like that, torturing and humiliating him. I get a woman in there to convince her to have sex with him. And they start having sex, and then I run in there, and I'm wearing a clown mask, and I have a chainsaw with no chain on it. I have a chainsaw with no chain on it, and I'm like scaring the shit out of him. You know what I mean? Like pretending to kill him. Just like psychologically torturing him like that for a couple weeks. Okay, so after that, I'm like running around. I don't know what happened. I blacked out. I'm wearing a woman's trench coat. And then I'm sitting in a park, and I see like kind of like a more reserved, like nerdier woman with glasses. And she's walking her dog, medium-sized dog. It seems like a nice dog. And it comes up to me, and it starts sniffing me, and I say, oh, look at the dog. I've always loved dogs. I'm in a really docile state. And she's like, oh, you too. You're so good with dogs. I really like that. He likes you a lot. And this woman's being really nice to me. She's like, can I buy you a cup of coffee? And I'm like, I'd really like that. I'd really like it if someone was nice to me right now. I just need someone to just be nice to me for just one day. This is after I was like torturing Ricky Gervais, like smoking crack and like getting really dirty and like beating up my employees and stuff. My business, the great thing is that my business is running smoothly. I'm still making a profit. It doesn't matter what I do. I can't sink it. And this woman buys me coffee and we start talking about Seinfeld, our favorite shows, and just like how crazy the world is and stuff like that, and how much we value friendship and family. She invites me upstairs and she's just being really nice, and we get upstairs and I start getting grouchy and like sobering up and belligerent. Like I punch the glass window and my hand is bleeding and I blame it on her. The dog attacks me and I'm just like yelling, and she continues to love me throughout all of this with no ulterior motives and just accepts me for who I am. No matter my mood or no matter anything. And it breaks me so bad that I see that she shows me true acceptance and love, and it breaks me down. And the fantasy is that I find a woman who just loves me for who I am. You know what I mean? And is nice. The fantasy is that I find a woman who's nice, wants to have sex with me, and it isn't creepy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. That's great. She wouldn't let you push her away.
No, she wouldn't. There's also a part where I get duct tape and wrap it around the end of a shotgun, and I attach it to Ricky Gervais's neck. And I'm just partying with him like all night long like that. You know what I mean? Like in the backyard. I make him wait like in the bathtub while I'm going to the bathroom.
You're like
really sick stuff.
Yeah. So people are just like partying and you're walking around with Ricky Gervais at the end of the shotgun, and everybody's
naked.
Yeah. Everybody's like, "Hey, Mike, what's going on, man? Good party." You're like, "Yeah, did you try the bacon wrapped scallops? They're
Dates.
fucking they're bomb, dude." Do you guys know Ricky Gervais? And he's obviously lost like 10 pounds in 3 days, and from like shaking and shit, not eating and sweating.
Where's your God? I keep saying, where's your God now? Where's your God to save you now that you're always talking about?
You push him, you walk him over into the pool, into the deep end of the pool. You hold him under until he blacks out from lack of oxygen. Then you drag him back on.
Pull back in with a shotgun.
Then you pull him back in and you give him CPR on the deck of the pool.
Yeah. Someone's like, "Hey, Mike, you're out of ice," and I'm like, "I'm trying to fucking save his life, man. What the fuck? Bring your own ice, bro."
And everybody cheers when you do it.
Yeah.
After you save his life, everybody's like, "You're a hero."
Yeah. Yeah.
But it means nothing to you. That acclaim means nothing to you.
No, I know it doesn't. That's why I'm wearing sunglasses the whole time to hide my eyes.
Mm-hmm. And that's a hell of a fantasy. I was really, I just locked into like this woman, bless her heart, just an angel came down and saved you.
Yeah.
Pulled you out of the depths of hell and nurtured you back to life, and didn't even know who you were, didn't even ask anything from you, just a pure-hearted person.
And there was no like, at no point was I like, they're trying to take advantage of me. They want something from me. Something's wrong. You know what I mean? That a little alarm never went off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this isn't creep. You know, usually when something like that happens, you're like, this is creepy. This is a trick. You know?
It's very spiritually pure.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was doing it just for the, you know, do unto others, you know?
Yeah.
The golden rule. She saw somebody was suffering and she wanted to tend your wounds. And
damn,
I picture when you punched the window, your hand started bleeding, and she just like very softly and deliberately dabbed your cut with a cotton swab. Just very, very gently, just as not to hurt you.
Yeah. She was brave enough to pull the thorn out of the paw.
Exactly.
Power play, plays of power. Playing with
do you
power.
wanna-
Playful power.
Do you want to go, John?
Yeah, sure. All right, I guess I'm in college. I've got to be in college for this. I'm of legal age in this fantasy. I'm on the swim team at my college. I'm trying out for it. So I show up to the tryout with my swimsuit on, so I don't have to get naked, because I'm just afraid to get naked in front of everyone. So I try out. I do well. I have a feeling I'm probably going to make. And the coach is like, "That was great. Now go hit the showers." So I go in there, and I just try to dry off my bathing suit and throw my jeans over it. And some kid is like, "What, are you afraid to get naked in front of everyone?" And I'm just like, "No, I just like I'm gonna hurry." And he's like, "Yeah, right." And he just pulls down my trunks, and I'm wearing white underwear underneath. And he's like, "Jesus Christ, are those fucking you got shit stains on there?" And I was like, "No, it's just that's the cotton. That's the cotton blend that it is. It's not. Those aren't shit stains." And he's like, "Bullshit." He gives me a wedgie, really high, like lifts me up. And this other kid comes by and he's like, "Those are fucking shit stains." And I was just like, they're not. Like it's a stripe. So I pull my underwear off. This kid's just like, "Holy shit, your dick is so small." They start making fun of my dick. It's like at this point I've never shaved. It's just like my penis is shrunk because I'm freezing. Looks like a frog on like a lily pad. Like it's just shrunken, real small. And they start calling me like shit pants little dick. It's like it just becomes my full name around school. And so I go home. I tell my dad, and he's just like, "Don't worry about them." He's just like, "Just think about like what you're gonna do after school. You won't ever know these people. You won't even think about them." So I started to plot my revenge. Not even revenge. I'm just like, how do I get a bigger dick? So I go online. I buy Blue Chew. I start with Blue Chew. Just get a boner from it. I'm just like, okay, if I could keep this during practice, it would be fine. So I do that. I shave all my pubes off. And I decide to see who I'm going to take this out on. So I start looking at each player's like home life and go to their house after school. I go to one kid's house and I see that his parents are just screaming at him, just kind of berating him. Dad's hitting him. And I'm not going to fuck with him. And I see like a super poor kid, like dirt poor. And I'm like, okay, safe. And then I go to the captain's house and I look in his window, and house is probably like $700,000 house. And he's watching TV with his parents. They're watching Ted Lasso. I'm just like, this is my guy. I start talking to his girlfriend at school, and become friends. She kind of does. You can tell she doesn't like him because he's a really mean guy. And we become friends. I try to date her. She denies me. He beats me up after practice. Gives me another wedgie and puts his he puts his finger in my ass, and he's like, "Now sniff it. Now fucking sniff it." He's holding it out like this. So I sniff it, and he punches me in the face. So like months go by, my body's changing. I'm working out. I'm a good swimmer. I'm fucking ripped. My dick's clearly bigger, but I still haven't showered in front of anyone. So it's the final swim meet. I've got a penis pump that I have at the locker room. So he knows that I'm friends with the girl, and I tell him, I'm like, I just go up to him, I'm like, I'm gonna fuck her. And he's like, what? I'm like, I'm gonna fuck her. And he's like, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck her. It's after the meet. I put on a robe. I'm soaking wet. Just put on this flamboyant robe. I walk over to the showers. And he just kind of throws a shoulder into me and rips the robe off of me. And he sees that my cock is tied in a knot. It's like a double knot. It's like 14 inches. And I'm like, you can service me right now and I won't fuck her. And he's like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm like, just kiss it then. Just get down there and give it a peck. And everyone's just like, just fucking do it. Just give him a peck. He gets on his knees and I just kind of thrust it at his face. He just it just gets on his lips. And I'm like, that's enough. So I leave the school. I tell him, I'm like, I'm not gonna fuck her. And he's like, I know you wouldn't. And I sent him a text message. And it's just it's her riding me like cowboy style. She's fucking me. And I take my swim trunks and I throw them in the trash. And I get in my car and leave. And that's it.
Did you say cowgirl style?
Cowboy style.
Cowboy style.
Yeah. A Rough Rider.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Like vertical.
I miss so many notes. There's one where I have him wash my ass with his soap.
I like the second that he sees your dick, he's just like hypnotized.
He's like, oh fuck.
Like he's like, I know, I just gotta kiss it.
Yeah,
I have to.
And he knows that she's a size queen, so
I like that the teammates
force him to, sort of. Yeah.
You have to. Yeah, sort of. It's just like understood that you have to do it.
Give it a peck. The man asked for a peck. Give him a peck.
Yeah, a dick like that, you have to.
It's a tribal thing. It
yeah.
Like.
It's tribe, yeah.
The double knot, too.
2 knots. It's like 14 inches.
Yeah. All that off of Blue Chew, huh?
Blue Chew in the pump. No, I forgot to say I pump it at the locker room before.
Sure. Yeah, you kind of mentioned that. It seemed like it implied that like you're doing lots of weird shit.
Yeah, you gotta get there.
I've never been that focused before in my life. To be in high school and to have, you know what I mean? You did all this recon, see this loser family watching Ted Lasso.
Have you ever tried a penis pump?
I haven't, no. Have you, John?
Yeah, it's fucking scary.
Yeah.
It works so quickly.
What the fuck is it?
I can't even describe. I don't even know what it's doing.
What does it do?
So like you put your flaccid penis in it, and then it just like your dick gets fucking huge. Like
what?
Like it almost turned fucking purple, and I was like, okay, that's enough. And like you pull it out, and it's big for like, I don't know, a minute maybe.
Weird.
But it's not hard. It's like a flaccid hard. It's fucking weird.
It just pumps it up.
It just pumps it up. Yeah. I think it's worth exploring.
Huh. Interesting.
I bet that's what Kevin Bacon did in Wild Things.
No, is he
when he had the dick shot.
huge?
If I remember correctly, yeah. And you know that dude is not hung. Can I tell you about my weight loss journey?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I've been shedding pounds like a motherfucker. You guys probably can't tell, but pounds have been pouring off me, and I have this new regimen that involves hydroxycut. You guys ever heard of hydroxycut?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good.
Basically, it's a supplement that you take. It comes in pill form, original pill form, drink mix, or gummies. And a lot of people don't really know if diet supplements are right for them, but hydroxycut is safe. Safe to use by healthy adults when used as directed on the label. Science, quality, and purity are the focus for hydroxycut, and hydroxycut uses a key weight loss driver, which is called C. Canephora robusta, studied in 2 scientific research studies with human subjects. When taking any type of dietary supplement, just remember to always read the label and take as directed. So let me tell you about what my day and diet looks like. I wake up in the morning, eat a stick of celery, drink a cup of black coffee, skip breakfast, take hydroxycut. Lunch comes around, skip lunch, take another hydroxycut. Dinner rolls around, skip dinner, take another hydroxycut. Rinse, repeat. I've lost probably like 15 pounds in 7 days. In between, I made a sauna in my basement. I get underneath a tarp and I put a humidifier and a space heater under there, and I just get real sweaty. And I tell you what, guys, this hydroxy stuff, it makes it so you don't even want to eat. Makes it so you don't even want to eat and you can't sit still. So it's a bona fide recipe for weight loss. So check it out, hydroxycut. You can find it at almost really anywhere, any of the major supermarkets or nutritional stores.
I might try that.
That sounds nice.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have any mood, nothing, your mood's the same, nothing, your blood pressure is not high or anything like that. Because usually when people do like meth and stuff like that, their mood changes a lot. What's your thing like?
Yeah, I don't want to say it's like meth, but how when you take like a stimulant like that, you feel good.
Yeah.
Typically.
Oh yeah.
None of that with hydroxycut. All the other side effects. Not eating, not sleeping.
Yeah.
Feeling paranoid, feeling like there's bugs crawling on your skin, stuff like that.
Yeah.
All that stuff happens, but you just don't feel good. So it's not addictive.
Let's see that body, man. Let's see what we're working with. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's
working.
Holy shit, hydroxycut. You said that's available like everywhere?
Yeah, basically. GNC, Walmart, online.
You take any nootropics to like take the edge off or anything like that?
Yeah, because when you're running on so few calories, you need anything you can to stay sharp. I cut my calorie intake down to like 5 calories a day. So you ask, how does your brain function? That's where nootropics comes in.
You don't need all that stuff. It's crazy how much food people eat now. You don't need all this food, all the saturated fat, all the calories that people eat every day. I mean, it's really getting out of hand how much food people eat. You just get some of this hydroxycut stuff, do your ice baths, do your long distance running, and do your daily fasting. And there's really no excuse that you should be overweight absolutely for any reason at all. It's like that guy who was like, you remember that video? I shared it with you guys. If you don't have a Ferrari right now, you need to start sitting yourself down and really asking yourself, why do I not have a Ferrari right now? You know what I mean? Why do I not have the body that I want right now? You know?
Yeah, you got to go out there and get it. This is a good segue too, is talking about food and diet and things like that for my fantasy. So if you guys, are cool with it, I just like to jump right in. So I'm down on my luck, walking the streets of LA. I just hopped off one of those rail cars, that like hand pump rail cars. Just like made my way out of a train yard, and I'm walking down the street. All I've got to my name are the shoes that are on my feet, and I've fashioned one of those reusable shopping bags into like a diaper. Walking down like Beverly Hills area, something like that, somewhere where like the bougie restaurants are, and I see one that has the back door open, and there's like some guys smoking from the restaurant. So I walk over there, and I peek inside, thinking maybe I can get some leftovers or whatever. And I see there's a total asshole like owner of the restaurant, like just being a piece of shit to everybody, just like yelling at everybody, really stressed out. And it's apparently like I gather from what he's yelling about that it's opening night, and there's like a big food critic coming by, and the review is gonna make or break him on this restaurant. And he's yelling at somebody about twice, like somebody was supposed to be like prepping the twice baked potatoes, and he only baked them twice. And the guy was like yelling about how they have to be baked 3 times because that's what makes this place special, is that they like go the extra mile. And there's another guy, so he fires the twice baked potato guy, and there's somebody defrosting frozen chicken wings in water on a crock pot, and the guy's like, this isn't fast enough, like these chicken wings need to be thawed in time for the opening. And there's a guy opening so he fires that guy. There's a guy opening a bunch of cans of SpaghettiOs and draining the O's out of it, like separating the O's from like the broth. The owner's like chewing them out because he's not going fast enough. The guy draining the cans is like kind of fed up, and he's like, listen, you can get a 64-ounce can of the stuff from Costco, so I don't have to keep opening these 12-ounce cans and like getting the O's out of it. So, the owner isn't trying to hear this, so he fires him. He suddenly looks around and he realizes like he's pretty short staffed, so he looks outside and he sees me standing there. He's like, hey, you know how to open a can? You're hired. And he throws me an apron. So I'm sitting there opening these SpaghettiO cans and filtering out all the O's on it. And I see he's talking to the food critic that showed up, and he's like, welcome. We're so glad to have you here, and we've got an excellent menu. I think you're really gonna like it. I recommend our microwave hot dogs served with brown sauce and frozen peas, and we slice the hot dogs so thin that they dissolve in your mouth. And the food critic's like, that sounds great, but I'm gonna ask you for a side of tissue sauce with that. And you can tell the owner gets a little bit of he grabs his collar a little bit, like he gets a little nervous. He's like, and I asked the lady next to me, I'm like, what is tissue sauce? And she's like, it's cum. The critic asks, he's like, is your tissue sauce green this evening? The owner's like, yes, it absolutely is. And so I asked the lady next to me, like, well, what does a green mean? And she's like, well, it's like the first cum of the night, like the first time that the person who's coming making the sauce, if it's the first time they came tonight, it's called green. It's like really coveted. People really want that. So the owner's like, excellent choice. I'll be right back with your meal. The owner comes back in the kitchen. He's like, fuck, I need some tissue sauce, but I fired my cum boy and there's no other guys that work here. He points at me. He's like, what have you eaten today? And I'm like, not much, a lot of ketchup and coffee, and I ate the dust from a Doritos bag. And he's like, oh, fuck it, it'll have to do. Here, come on this oyster shell. I like shrug and I start jacking off, and he's impatiently looking at his watch. I bust in the oyster shell, and he brings it up to the critic. He puts a little bit of the tissue sauce cum on the hot dog, and he takes a bite. And then you see him, he just kind of pushes the hot dogs to the side, and he takes the tissue sauce and he just slurps it back like an oyster. And he just is licking the shell. He's like, the hot dogs are just meh, whatever, but the cum is exquisite. And I'm going to give you a 5-star review just based on the strength of the cum alone. Thank you, sir. This has been an honor to have you here. And he comes back and he's like, you kid, one time he's like, how many times do you think you can come today? I'm like, I don't know, like 5. He's like, great, put down those cans. You're our new cum boy. And it comes with a 50 cent an hour raise. You'll be working every night and guarantee you a shift. And I'm like, fuck that. I want a steak in the restaurant. He's like, excuse me? If I really have him over the barrel, like he needs a cum boy bad. And like his restaurant is opening night, you know, he's got to make an impression. I'm like, I'm not coming again until I have a steak in your restaurant. And you hear like the ding, 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 ding. And somebody's like, another order for cum sauce. So he's starting to sweat. He's like, where am I going to get this cum from? And this is where the power play comes in. I'm really flexing, you know. And he says, fine, I'll call my lawyer. He'll be down in 30 minutes with a contract. Now, can you please come into this oyster show? And so I jack off again and I come in it, and somehow the cum tastes better than the last one. Word spreads after the review. And in like LA high society, everybody has just got to have this cum sauce. It just becomes like the talk of the town. And we have like a tropical cum night where I eat nothing but pineapple all day, and then I blast on a plantain. We have a Southwest style cum night that's mixed with mole sauce, and then a Moroccan style cum night where I just don't drink any water that day. And I'm so dehydrated, my cum is like really thick, like snot. There's lines around the block. And it's such a big deal. Like people get stabbed in line, like fighting over their place in line. Everybody wants to, like, it's like I only come like 5 or 6 times a night, so everybody wants the cum sauce. So eventually I leave that restaurant and I open my own place that's called Just Cum. And it's just like the cum is the featured, you know, the featured ingredient. I go to the bus station and Skid Row and stuff like that, and I collect a bunch of guys that I feel like have the same kind of like diet and consistency of their cum as I do. And we get together and we form this little kind of community where we just day in and day out churn out cum for these rich people, and we make a killing off it. I want to open another restaurant, so I have to hire a basically cum master and to like oversee this other restaurant. So I'm having interviews, and this guy comes in and he's like, he gives me his like resume and headshots, and he's like, I came for Prince Henry, a bunch of like diplomats. I came for the Obama family. I studied at Juilliard in like ejaculation theory, and I'm like, interesting. Can I taste a little bit of your cum? And he comes on a oyster shell and gives it to me, and I taste it. I'm like, okay, this is good. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a call back. Thank you for your time. Another guy comes in. He's got a No Fear t-shirt on, basketball shorts, and he looks like he cuts his own hair, and he's his skin is like super dry, killing the like bottom part of a 2 liter of Mountain Dew. I'm like, all right, so I'm like, what's your diet typically like? And he's like, well, I work at a bowling alley, and they let me eat whatever's left on the plates that people don't want. And I'm like, okay, and let's see what you got. And he comes on an oyster shell and gives it to me, and I taste it, and I'm like, you're hired. I'm like, you're hired. Let's do this thing. And so I open a whole bunch of shops and like franchises around. There's a whole bunch of like wannabe, you know how like you have like a big iconic restaurant, and then you'll have a bunch of other restaurants that open up trying to do something similar, you know? So you have people like trying to do like different cum fusion and weird shit like that, but mine is still the staple. Flash forward like 20 years later, I'm sitting in the back room doing some accounting, and a cum boy comes in. He's like, you know, I got my girl pregnant, and I really need some time off, and because we're gonna have a baby. And I'm like, listen, you take as much time as you need. There's going to be a bonus on the end of your check at the end of the week. Don't worry about it. And he's like, oh, thank you so much. And I get up. I'm walking out through the kitchen, you know, and I like fake punch a guy, like fake box one of the cum boys, and I walk around. I slap another guy in the back, and everybody's just like really happy to see me. We just have a really nice community, and I gather everybody together. I'm like, tonight's a big night, everybody. You know, we're just gonna do what we do every night. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna cum, and people are gonna eat our cum. And I'd like to say that we're cum boys. You know, when people saw us on the street, they would spit on the ground, but now they worship us because we spray clown. They come in every day, they want to pay, and they want to pay to see us spray. They worship us. They worship the ground that we walk on. But nobody wants to see us down anymore because we can come. We're the cum boys. Let's go get this thing. And that's the end of the fantasy.
I thought you were gonna have when you asked for a stake in the company, I thought you and the owner were gonna have like a come off.
Well, in one of my notes I skipped over it, but I was gonna say that the guy, I was gonna be like, well, why can't you come? And he was gonna look really really down at his feet, and somebody was gonna be like, it's kind of a touchy subject. Like his cum tastes like shit. His cum is like sour, and he can't do it, and he's like looking away, like ashamed, you know.
Uh,
I'm fascinated with this guy who cuts his own hair.
Yeah, I mean, these are
that you can identify someone who cuts their own hair as a diss. You look like you cut your own hair. And just like the interaction between him and the college boy in the waiting room before the audition.
Yeah,
really college. Seeing him being arrogant, going in there thinking he has it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just ignoring the guy. He comes in and he throws his coat at the guy who cuts his own hair, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're not the coat boy."
Yeah, that's cool.
But the whole cum boy mentality.
He's walking down. That guy's walking down the street later on, thinking he got the job. Realizes his pockets are completely filled with cum.
Yeah, after
he tastes a little bit of it, and he's like he knows he lost because he eats a little bit of it.
Right. He's out at a bar. The guy who cuts his own hair is out at a bar, and he sees like the fancy pants cum boy guy, and he walks up to him and he's like, I'm sorry that you had to come on that you had to show up for the job interview at the same day as me. You know, it's not a lot of people can come like I do. It was, you tried your best. And he leaves and walks away. And while the like fancy pants college boy was talking to him, the rough and tumble cum boy had come inside his mouth, and he had an entire load in his stomach, and he didn't even realize it. And that's how good he was, you know. So he's like walking. He's thinking he got the best. The college boys think he had the best of the cum boy.
Yeah,
but the cum boy just deposited an entire load in his stomach.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and the whole cum boy mentality is more than just like, can you come and can it taste good? Like you have to be from the streets. You have to be from the gutter.
There's something. It's an X factor. There's something you can't be taught.
Yeah, like these are the dregs and the outcasts of society. Like nowhere else can just a normal guy.
It's authentic.
Like, you don't have to.
It's authentic. It's raw.
You don't have to look good. You don't have to have a big dick. You don't have to like none of the stuff that like normally you would need if you're doing other kind of sex related stuff. You just need to be able to come a bunch of times, and you have the right attitude.
Harder than it looks.
Yeah. And so my real, point of success isn't that I just had really good cum and I could come a bunch of times. It's that I could pick cum boys to produce enough cum to have a sustainable.
I spaced out what you were saying last time. But when you're going around panning the guys on the back playing, airboxing with them or something like that, you walk out the back door, not too different than the one you walked in where your career began. You see everyone working for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just fucking leave. You never come back. You know what I mean? No one knows what happened to you. Just like that, he was gone.
Yeah. Well, I don't need any money. I've already proven
it wasn't
myself.
It was never about the money.
No. It was about showing, like, flexing my power that a kid from the gutter could do what this fucking asshole could do, but better.
Yeah. By being yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like your whole life, people are telling you to not be yourself. You know what I mean? You wound up on the
Mm-hmm.
wandering around eating Dorito dust and shit like that. God hands you the basketball, gives you one shot. You throw the ball, not even thinking about it. You don't even think about it. You just throw it.
Mm-hmm.
And all of your experiences go into that one shot. You don't even think about it. You're like, I don't care. And you make that 3-pointer, you win the fucking World Series or whatever.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Super Bowl.
The National Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Isn't that what's called? 3-peat or whatever?
Yeah.
Basketball.
Yeah. It's a fun way to think about it. Would you guys, let's say there's a big fad of eating cum.
Mm-hmm.
Would you guys try it? If people swore by it?
It'd be one of those things I'd be disgusted by for a really long time and threatened by. I make fun of people like,
Mhm.
oh, you think you're so cool, you do this. And then like enough time will pass after it's not cool anymore. Then I'll get really into it. And
Yeah.
everyone will be angry at me for going on about it. We're like, yeah, you made fun of us for liking this when we were into it first.
That's exactly what I would do. You just described exactly what I would do.
What?
I would approach it the exact same
Yeah.
way. That's what I do with everything that like is a fad. As I wait it out,
Yeah.
and then I do it, and then I feel like an asshole because I'm talking about it after everybody's been like with it for a long time.
I feel like
tried it.
What's that?
I've tried it.
What do you mean you've tried it?
I've eaten
It's
my
not a
own
real
cum
thing.
before.
Your own or someone else's?
My own.
Yeah, I've eaten my own before.
Yeah, sure. You got to try it.
I got on my I used to try to suck my own dick.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I never could, but I would just be jacking off into my own face. And I just shot it just straight down, just swallowed it all.
No chaser.
Oh, damn.
No chaser. I could probably grab the Coke afterwards.
Probably walking around talking to your mother 1 foot away from your mother's face. You had no idea. Her baby boy just shotgunned his own face.
I heard it tastes different if it's shot directly into your mouth than if it stays out for a while.
Like the air.
I
or
would
something.
imagine.
Yeah, it breathes a little bit.
Like it's better if it's out.
It's just different. Just,
It's like
based on your preference.
Yeah, you're supposed to let it breathe a little bit like wine.
it's like cooking chicken. Like you pull it off before it's completely done, and it just kind of cooks while it's setting.
Yeah. Because it comes out at like 98.6 degrees, but the ideal eating temperature is like 80 degrees. So you just have to let it cool in the air for like just the right amount of time.
It's hard to do that because as soon as I come, I'm not horny.
I love
I
to see
mean-
I
What's that?
love to. I said I'd love to see an experiment where people are experimenting with 0G environments, like in a jet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plane
yeah.
goes straight up in the air. A guy busts. It's floating. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That would probably be. I think people would pay big money to be able to get a bit of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You could do all sorts of fun stuff. You could like rope in a deep fryer and then pull it out.
Mhm.
You could just do all sorts of different interesting things.
It would, yeah. You just gotta capture it right to sell to the public. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Gotta have like a camera that can shoot a bunch of frames at more frames than a normal amount, so people can really see the way it moves.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised that this hasn't been a thing yet because there's so many different, it involves like you can really geek out on it. It involves exploiting people.
Mm-hmm.
It involves like something that's widely considered as being nutritious.
Yeah, it's like a workout thing. Athletes do it before, like they run marathons and stuff.
Remember when all those like tech guys were drinking like pond water? You remember that? It had some kind of, it was actually happened. It had some kind of like algae in it that they said was really good for you.
That sounds like something I'd be interested in. It was one of these bad ones, one of these things that didn't work out.
It was just like a brief fad, and then I didn't hear anything about it, so I don't know. They might still be doing it.
It's probably in nootropics or whatever. Or athletic greens. Probably found like a better way to do it. But anyways, so all these guys were eating it, and
I don't know. I don't know what happened, but think about this. Think about like a super rich guy having like a party and having like a guy, like a chef basically, but that just shot coming on a plate for people to eat.
It would be like the naked sushi thing, but there's also a guy over that person, kind of like raining down on the sushi. It's like, and then you're getting in between a sexual interaction between two people, and how cool is that?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that's all. That's my fantasy.
What you guys gonna watch tonight?
I don't know.
I don't know. I was watching that Bourne Legacy movie with Jeremy Renner, who is the fucking worst. I can't stand
He's no
that dude.
Bourne.
I liked him as Dags.
Yeah. Did you say Dags?
Nothing. He's got no.
Yeah,
I liked him as Dags. Yeah. That's about that. Like, he was good as Dahmer.
Dahmer, Dags. I'll give him that.
But as like a action star, he's just got nothing. He brings nothing to. I just don't buy it. Anyways, I started watching that. I'm just gonna have to finish it. It's got Ed Norton.
I love to see him work.
Well, I would just fucking hit it, run him. I would cripple him with my car. I love him so much. I just want to keep him.
He rubs you the wrong way.
No, I love him. I just don't want anybody else to have him. I would hit him with my car and bring him back to my house. Why? What about you? What are you watching on? What are you watching on, Mike? John? What are you looking at this evening? Staring at?
I don't know. Just watched Smile.
Oh yeah, I watched that yesterday too. Eat shit. That movie sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, these dumbasses. These people, they're cowards. You know what I mean? Trying to reverse engineer these movies to like have a message.
Is it supposed to be good?
It's just like
yes, I guess people like it.
It sucks. It's a movie where it's like a horror movie, but it has like this message about overcoming something.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Baked into it from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Instead of just being a freak,
how
you should be if you're making a movie, you're just a freak, and then you slowly realize as you're making the movie that you're a perverted freak. You know what I mean? But you power through because you already started the movie.
Yeah.
Those are people don't seem to want to do anymore.
Yeah.
Like a racist, perverted weirdo.
Like Martin Scorsese.
Or De Palma.
Mm-hmm.
Or any of these male directors. Just let it fly, you know?
Yeah.
You see the trailer for that new Paul Schrader movie?
No, what is it?
It's about a gardener who used to be a hitman, I believe.
Oh.
It looks good. Looks like it's gonna get fucking raw.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's called, Tickle Me Once.
Excuse me.
Wait, what are you saying?
Search Tickle Me Once, Mike.
Okay. Typing it in. Video?
The movie's called Tickle Me Once.
I'm not seeing it. I'm confused. What's going on?
I didn't catch that. What'd you say?
What's the movie's called? Tickle Me Once?
No. But
Are you teasing?
who's in it?
You're
John?
teasing me?
Yeah, I'm just ribbing you, Mike.
Hit me once.
It's because I love you, Mike. I'm just ribbing you.